There are currently over 400 games to choose from on Game Pass for console. With that many games, picking somewhere to start can be difficult, but don't worry, we're going to help you out. Here's 30 of our favorite games available on Game Pass right now. Co-op only adventures are just starting to break through and see mainstream success in gaming. And if you're interested in seeing what this genre of game is all about, there's almost no better example out there than A Way Out. You and a friend must work together to make a plan and break out of prison. This is a fantastically unique gaming experience, and your ability to work together will be stretched to its absolute limit.
Dead Cells is an absolutely fantastic addition to the roguelite genre. This game is full of variety thanks to a large number of weapons and builds available to you throughout your runs, as well as the partially randomly generated level design. If you haven't played this one yet and you enjoy roguelites, it's definitely one that you should be adding to your list.
For me, Banjo-Kazooie defines the collectathon platformer genre, and although the entire collection of Banjo games are available on Game Pass, I really think that the first game is the one that's really a must-play. And although I've played through this game more times than I can count, it never gets old. Not every game from the N64 holds up, but Banjo-Kazooie absolutely does.
If you're like us and you grew up watching Dragon Ball, you're probably already aware of this one. But if it somehow flew under your radar and you enjoy more traditional fighting games, I don't think Dragon Ball FighterZ will disappoint you. The smooth gameplay and visuals combined with an expansive roster containing characters from all the various branches of the Dragon Ball universe, even GT, make this game's power level well over 9,000. See what I did there?
I first tried City Skylines because I heard that it was essentially SimCity, but on steroids. And boy, if you like SimCity, you will love City Skylines. I've never played a better city building game than this one. The game may be best enjoyed on PC, but the console port of the game is surprisingly playable. Honestly, even the Switch port is not that bad.
Fallout 3 is one that I have poured hundreds of hours into over several different playthroughs. It's the game that first introduced me to open world RPGs and honestly changed the way I think about games as a whole. I've already covered a particularly cool moment from this one in our video on our most impactful gaming moments, so I won't rehash that here. You can go watch that video if you want to hear more on that. But I will say that the world building, level of immersion, creepy post-apocalyptic setting, and classic Fallout decision-based storytelling make Fallout 3, at least in my opinion, an absolute must-play.
When you want to pump a little adrenaline through your veins, all you need to do is reach for your controller and load up Doom. Many of the Doom games are available on Game Pass, but if you're looking for a place to start, I'd suggest Doom 2016. This is the most fast-paced, aggressive shooter you can imagine. I'm not the biggest fan of shooters, but Doom 2016 gets my fullest recommendation.
Fallout New Vegas takes all of the things that I mentioned for Fallout 3 and just tweaks them enough while introducing a brand new story and setting to make this adventure feel fresh and familiar all at the same time. Gone are the ruined monuments and concrete of the Capital Wastes, and we are instead thrown into the desert biome of the Mojave Wastes. Here we get to explore post-nuclear war Las Vegas and navigate the tense conflict between some warring factions. Allegiances are made and broken, but it's always a good time. If you like Fallout, play this game.
Okay, I may be cheating by including two games in the same spot, but these two games are such a pair that I can't break them apart in my mind. We've already made a 1-minute game review covering Forza Horizon 5, so you may already know my thoughts on these games, but here's what you need to know. These may just be the finest racing games you can play, so give them a shot, even if you're not typically into racing games.
I've always been a huge fan of Gears of War. I love the ridiculousness of the action and the fresh feel of a third-person shooter as opposed to the more popular first-person perspective. All of the Gears games are here for you to enjoy, so jump on in and relive the gory splendor of the Locust War all over again. And when you're done, jump on Gears 5 and let's play some Horde.
Yeah, the graphics in this quote-unquote definitive edition are wonky as nobody's business, but at the end of the day, the gameplay has remained largely unchanged, and that's all you need because San Andreas is a game that molded its genre maybe more than any other. Maybe just squint a little while playing, and have a chuckle if you get a crazy glitch, and I promise you, you can still have a great time.
This is one that I actually haven't finished. I did play enough, however, to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that Hollow Knight is a standout in the Metroidvania genre. With the recent release of Metroid Dread on Nintendo Switch, I've spent a lot of time thinking about Metroidvanias, and I'll definitely be jumping back into this one sometime because it deserves to be finished. Go play Hollow Knight on Game Pass. I really don't think it will let you down.
Yes, I'm cheating again, and this time with a whole series of games, but it would be a sin to talk about Game Pass without mentioning Halo. And nearly every Halo game is here for you to enjoy. To this day, Halo remains a staple of the Xbox experience, and whether you're a long-term fan or a newcomer to the series, the games are absolutely worth their space on your hard drive.
Hades is on Game Pass! Holy crap, go play this game! It's seriously the best indie game I've ever played and easily one of my favorite games of all time. It's completely addicting and the gameplay is always feeling fresh due to a big variety of weapons, builds, and upgrades that keep you coming back for more. If you're looking for a new game to play and you haven't played Hades, I honestly think the choice has been made for you. Go play Hades, it will make your heart fuller and your life richer.
Hellblade's Sinuous Sacrifice is extremely hard to describe. It's almost like the game is meant to be experienced rather than discussed, and with an amazing looking sequel on the way, now is the perfect time to experience the first chapter of Senua's journey. If you are even remotely interested in what you see, do yourself a favor and download this stunningly unique game.
All of the Mass Effect games are now on Game Pass. I've only played the original trilogy, so I should probably check out Andromeda as well. But if you missed these back in the day, or if you're just looking for a hyperspace-induced walk down memory lane, go check these out on Game Pass. I always loved how much your choices can impact the narrative and overarching galaxy as a whole in these games. The player really holds a lot of responsibility and it leads to an extremely immersive experience. Go check these games out.
All I can say is that It Takes Two won 2021 Game of the Year for a reason. It's a co-op only game, so find someone to play with and play this game. Seriously, do whatever you have to do to play this game. It's hands down the best co-op experience we've ever had.
My Freind Pedro is fun. It's stupid, ridiculous, and heavy-handed, but it's fun. I'm not saying that you can't live an extremely full life without playing this one like some of the other games on this list. Hades. But if you're looking for mindless fun in the form of over-the-top action and a talking banana, this one might be your best bet.
We've already made a full video covering Psychonauts 2, so I won't harp on this for too long, but this is just a great straight-up sequel to the first game, which came out way back on the original Xbox. Luckily, there's an awesome recap at the beginning that'll get you caught up on everything you need to know, whether you're new to the Psychonauts or if it's just been a few years since you last used your psychic abilities.
Oblivion was my introduction to the Elder Scrolls universe, and I can say with absolutely zero hesitation that it was wonderful. The amount of freedom to explore and just honestly play the game the way you want was very new to me at the time, and it's something that I've really never taken for granted again. I know Skyrim gets all the love these days when you're talking Elder Scrolls, but don't sleep on Oblivion, or you might just miss out on something that you would have really enjoyed.
The game where Resident Evil went first person. It was a gutsy move to change an established franchise, but it totally worked out because Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is scarier than any other RE game, and the first-person perspective makes you feel so much more immersed in the horror that surrounds you. Additionally, if you're interested in the follow-up game RE Village, which is also amazing, you owe it to yourself to play 7 first.
Next up on the list is Octopath Traveler. This is a party-based RPG from Square that very much serves as a throwback to the earlier Final Fantasy games. If you are a fan of those games and you want to see some completely gorgeous pixel art, go check out Octopath. I think you'll really dig it.
Did you know that we stream on Twitch almost every night at 8 p.m. Eastern? And more often than not, the game we're playing is Sea of Thieves. This game has captivated us beyond measure. It's a pirate simulator, but because it's played online in a server full of other pirates, you never know what kind of shenanigans the high seas will throw at you. I've said it before, and I'm sure I'll say it again, but this is a game that you can literally sink thousands of hours into and not get bored.
Overcooked 2 is one of my favorite party games ever. The insane amount of communication and teamwork that this game asks of the players can lead to some really tense moments among friends, but that's part of the fun. It feels weird to say that a game about cooking and selling food in a variety of kitchens is so near and dear to my heart, but Overcooked 2 is just always such a good time. If you need a new co-op game or just something to pull out when you have guests over, go ahead and download this one. I promise it will deliver.
Part farming sim, part dating sim, part mining game, Stardew Valley is a game where you more or less create your own objectives and goals. This may seem drab to some, but Stardew Valley's charm had me hooked for quite a while. If you enjoy games like Animal Crossing or Harvest Moon, you need to give this game a download because Stardew Valley is one of the best simulation games out there.
I love Star Wars, like a lot. So when I heard that EA was making another Star Wars game, I was worried. I'm sure you're all familiar with how EA microtransactioned. Is that a word? Microtransactioned? It is now. Anyway, I was familiar with how EA microtransactioned the Battlefront series to death. So when Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was announced, I was skeptical. I'm happy to announce that I was completely wrong, and this game is a delight. The parry-based combat is reminiscent of Sekiro, and I mean that as a compliment. It was also super cool to get a new story set in between the prequels and original trilogy. If you like Star Wars, or you're just a fan of parry-based combat with a galaxy far, far away sort of twist, go play Jedi Fallen Order on Game Pass.
As an outsider of the series, Elder Scrolls games always seemed intimidating to me, but a while back, I finally decided to give Skyrim a try, and let me tell you, the hype around this game is completely deserved. I know you've heard all about this game, so if you haven't played it yet, I encourage you to take the plunge. If you have played it before, my guess is that you already have it downloaded and probably you're on your 12th playthrough or something.
I actually haven't played Below Zero yet, but I have played the original Subnautica. Both games are on Game Pass though, so lucky you, you get to take your pick. These games are a freaking vibe, with the extreme isolation and amount of sheer freedom thrust upon the player from the start. They'll also lead to more than one jump scare, but that's okay. That's part of the charm as you explore, build bases, and just run from scary sea creatures under this massive ocean that is your playground from the start.
The best-selling game of all time is Tetris, and that's because it's one of the best puzzle games ever created, and there's no better way to experience the game than Tetris Effect. The stunning particle effects will have you feeling like you're playing Tetris for the first time, and it's the perfect game for picking up when you want something quick to play. At the end of the day, it's a beautiful version of a classic puzzle game. What's not to love?
I did a 1-minute game review on Unsighted, so go check that out if you want to hear some more of my thoughts on it. But this is an indie gem that flew way too far under most people's radars last year. It's a wonderful top-down action RPG that I really think deserves more recognition. The overall mood and tone of the game is extremely strong, and Unsighted also forces the player to make some uncharacteristically heavy choices for a top-down indie about a sentient robot. Go play Unsighted and then report back here. We'd love to hear what you think of this one.
Tell us, which of your favorite Game Pass games for console did we leave out? And from our list, which are you going to try first?
Guys, please go follow us over on Twitter and TikTok, where our handles are @GameandGig, all words. And go join our Discord server, which is named Game and Gig with the ampersand, just like our YouTube channel. Also, don't be afraid to like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube if you like what we're doing.